I use noises with Octane a lot, and over time of using them, I've kind of developed some techniques which are quite interesting where it comes to piling noises on top of each other with different textures, different layers, and it's not really something you can model. And today I'm going to show you how to do that. It's a lot of fun, it's interesting, and it kind of grants you results you can't really get any other way. So I'm just going to set up my lighting here, and we'll get into this. No, I do not want that. I'll just use the same one I used because I was messing around trying to make a good picture just to see what I could follow directly on the tutorial, so I have an actual kind of path to go down and I'm not just randomly doing stuff because it's a bit boring to watch. And I want, you know, it's always good when you're following tutorials to at least follow something, complete it, and then put your own spin on it after. So that'll be great. But we're not going to be doing our noises with a displacer, which is what a lot of people usually do. The reason for that is because if you know anything about that, you know that that requires a stupid amount of segments, and we don't want to do that. And not only that, we want to create layers of noises, and textures are the way to do that. It gets a bit, you know, it's like sticking your fingers in mud. It gets a bit messy, but it's better that than your computer just turning off and being like, no bitch, I'm turning off now, fuck you. So let's just create new material. Glossy, yeah, glossy sounds good. I'm going to do the entire thing in Node Editor. I'd suggest following in Node Editor. So first off, we'll call this surface. No, let's just call it disp surface. I like that. Okay, and of course we're going to get displacement, and we want to make sure we're using the normal Cinema 4D noise, not the C4D one. We will be using that one, but to get these kind of results, we'll just use the normal one. And as you can see here, it's you got a displacement. So that's all for today. I'll see you in the next. Right. Okay. I need to put advanced displacements in the tutorial now in the title, don't I? Because like I literally could have got away with that. I could have just been like, yeah, there you go. There's your displacement. F off. Okay. We're gonna use stipple. I like this one because it's like wavy and it just looks a bit more interesting, especially if we're gonna be doing a one thing I think is good with noises is getting a angle a bit like this on it. So if you're gonna be getting a topographical type view, this one just seems to root very well with me. Of course, I would suggest if you know nothing, do what I'm doing. If you know something, pick a different one. If you have a little bit of experience, just like go and pick some random one. Ober's nice. I like Ober. Piezo's nice. So is Poxo. But yeah, just stay away from these ones because they're gonna slow you down like especially Voronoi. So just I'd say Stupel is the best. Stupel is the poople. Stupel is the stupel. I'm gonna set it to 50. Right, I'm just gonna jump at the camera again. Yeah, so it was on 50. I did forget to say I'm gonna use direct lighting, which is a bit unlike me these days. It's just there's gonna be a lot of emissions I'm gonna use for this specific noise at least, and it's just if it's on path tracing, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of diffuse the emissions with a specular, and if it's on path tracing, well, you'll know that path tracing won't diffuse it and the light will just go straight through it, and I don't really want that, and I like the way diffuse just sort of cuts it out. So I'm going to put the displacement to 2K so it's not all pixely, and I'm going to leave it at 10. Of course you can see we're getting some nice detail now. You could use a daylight in this scene, but I would suggest a HDRI for things like this. Otherwise the shadows are just too, I'll show you, they just kind of fall over the top and it just doesn't look as good. I just prefer the softer light. Maybe you could get away with a light like that, but that actually looks okay. It's just too harsh. Right, so enough of that. Now what we're going to do, we're going to get a gradient node, we're going to get a synwav node, and we're going to get a nos node, and we're just going to hook these up like that. And what this sine wave is going to do is it's going to give us really detailed noise as a layer on top, and of course we'll do that through the gradient. Now I'm going to make this one purple because purple is a nice colour. I think this will be nice. Who knows? We'll try it out. We'll see how it looks. We can change it later. Yep, I'm gonna use saw wave. Oh, excuse me. We'll bump up the contrast on this noise quite a lot, and we'll play with the gamma till we just add in a transform in here. Bump up our omega. Now it just gives it more detail. Now what this does is it kind of, you can see here, it's going very fast, but it's essentially put a line, and of course you could animate this, it would look really cool. Kind of looks like energy pulses. It's a really cool effect. Now I'm gonna get it quite far in, something like that. I'm gonna mess with our contrast a bit more. I might make this a bit smaller. Nah. Up this, maybe turn it to circular, turbulence, Perlin. You see, that's what I'm saying. It's just so much faffing about. It gets annoying, and it's hard to just find something that you like. No. Okay, that looks cool. I like that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna minus 90 that, and just come and look at it from like here, just because I know this will be my angle when I finish. So, and I want it to be very I've got my hand up at the monitor, so just do it with the cursor. You can't see my hand, can you? I think I'm gonna have it really thick up here and then coming down here, because that's kind of what I did on the other one. Like that. I like it. It looks like paint. It looks like someone just threw paint all over it. Now, would they threw purple paint or white paint? That's the question, because it looks like the white paint's on top, even though the purple paint's on top. So there's a question. Figure that shit out. I don't know. Okay, but now and do this, because I don't like seeing the other stuff. Throws me off, and I don't like it. We're gonna delete this, not delete it, we're gonna duplicate it. I hope you didn't have like fast reaction times and just delete it, and you just have to Control Z. We're gonna call it main, and we're gonna go, I'm gonna call this glass, and then we're gonna we're just gonna bring this up a bit, just like that. We're gonna make a new specular material. No, we're not. No, we're not. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go back. I went back too far. Right. Just delete the specular material. Right. Duplicate the material we've got. I didn't mean to click on it like that. Go away. Call it. Make sure you've got your active matte. The amount of times I do that and I change the other one. Call it Disp Glass. And then get rid of all this. No, keep it. We're just gonna change it to specular. See, I've not done this many times, so I get confused. I'm sorry. Come into here, and bring these together. This is essentially a fall off, and low clip, high clip, the closer you push them together, the sharper the fall off, less fall off. The more they're apart, the more fall off you're gonna have. Now I can't see this right now, so, or you just like, oh, it's because it's not applied. Oh my god, that looks so bad. Okay, cool. So we have this sitting on there now. You just kind of want it to sit above it to the point it's catching all of these little cool things. And essentially what I'm doing here is, it's like, there's no way to do this. Is a couple of weeks ago I started going crazy with noise. I just like got really loud. No, I'm kidding. I started having tons of fun, and I'm not somebody that's a big fan on spending tons of time modeling stuff, and you can't model stuff like this. And because I'm one of those artists that's arty, I just kind of let myself go a bit mental, and I go off and do all this crazy shit, and I just sit there for like an hour messing with noises, like breaking my computer like 5 times, and then I end up with something pretty cool. So I find out my routes to do it without completely crashing everything, but you know, this looks nice. I like it. Now we're going to put in our emission, and the emission is a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's it'll do. I'm actually going to put our displacement up a little bit here to 15, just to give it a bit more height so things sit underneath it more. Now we're going to duplicate this original one again. Hello? Going slow. I'm just going to resend our scene here. I'll just wait for it. It just does its own thing. I'm going to go be a millennial and sit on my phone while I wait for it. I'll put some music in the background or something. Oh, already. Okay. Righty. Emit. Just call it emit. Now, there's not really anything we have to change here, except, yeah, well, there is something we have to change. Okay, and we're just gonna delete that. I don't want you anymore. And next up, we're gonna, okay, so you're gonna get a texture emission. But first, before we do that, because I like to see what I'm doing, delete, no, delete, emit, emit, and then texture emission. I'm gonna put these values into both of them, just like that, baby, and then into the emission, and you can see we're getting some emission. And then we're gonna put this in this, I'm correct in thinking this, in the opacity, and then put an invert right there, like that, and then stuff gets lit, stuff starts to get a bit lit, you know what I mean. Now I think this is like inside the glass right now. We just need it to come out of the glass or go underneath the glass. So like there. But then the glass is blocking it. Anyway. In the glass, go to index and set that shit to like 1.52. And fake shadows. Turn them off. Nah, keep them on. I can't see what's causing this. Is it? No, the displacement has to be there. Problem solving. I hate it. It's not fun. Go away. I guess maybe we just move this up a bit more, up a bit more, up a bit more, and then it's there, but it's too high now. In a bit more, up a bit more. Is that, there you go, done. It just had to be moved. Okay, so now it's getting a little bit lit. We got our emission, and I'm gonna add bloom just to make it look nicer. I like it. Yeah, I like it. Now, I want the bottom side of the emission to kind of be like blocked off. So how I'm gonna do that is there's a bit too much color here as well. So on that. Nice, nice. We're gonna create another material. Okay, right, I'm back in C4D. I lost a bit. I need to control S more. So what did I do? Duplicate that. Bang. Call this cover up. I did have like tons of projects open, so I can kind of understand it playing up with me. Wrong layout. There we go. Well, it happens. It happens. It happens. Bad boys, bad boys. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, we're gonna completely detach the emission. We'll throw the texture back on there. Now I'm gonna turn off all of these so we can see that this is the one that's being isolated right now. So if we take off the invert, that turns the other way around. But what I want now is the noise. So I'll just paste that in here if it would work. There we go. We'll put that in our, there's no displacement. Oh yes there is. In our displacement. Beautiful. Control S. And then we'll turn them back on. And it should be covering up half of it now. Just kind of want it not too high up, but you see now you're kind of getting it blocked out. And the reason I like it like that is because I'm gonna bring it down a bit, but it's nice to get a bit of contrast in the scene and not have it all one way. Like I said, I ended up taking this out because it looked a bit out of place, but I think if you applied everything we've done to this, as if you call this main 2, right, and then group these, you could call this top, I'm typing one hand, oh damn, top noise, so you have the top noise, and then you could do the same thing again with the glass, the emission, blah 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 blah, with the bottom, and then you could have like, it's like 2 elements like fighting or something. Like that's what I was kind of going for. That's why I had the water file open, because I was like gonna put water textures on it, but it wasn't working very well. So you could do some really cool things with this. I ended up I believe, of course, not using that. It does get a bit slow. You could try and path tracing as well. That would work quite well, but like I said, when I put in path tracing, it just didn't look nice. Let's just let this catch up. I mean, you can see how small the scene is and how slow my computer's going, so be aware of that. You could probably, not wise of me to sit with the noises on like 2K. You're probably best to work in 1K. When it comes to render, bump it up to 2 or 4K, and then go from there. Okay, so I believe I ended up doing something a bit like this. It's hard because it's not in the middle of the scene, but I thought this looked pretty cool. And then dropping a fillet on that, moving that to like 24. You have like a cool kind of, which makes the image a little more interesting, I guess, rather than the same thing all over. It kind of targets what you're looking at. Dropping a material on that. You could make it quite black. Put a bit of roughness on it. Dope. Now that's cool because that contrasts really well. And then we could actually try and put another noise on this itself. So maybe like how would we do this? Okay, to save duplicating it again, I'm just gonna gradient. Black, we'll go purple. Purple, bong, bong. I want a lighter purple so it actually shows. And then we'll plug that in diffuse. Sine wave, noise. Sine wave is actually a really underrated node. I think a lot of the things on here as well, you can do some really interesting things with like turbulence as well. They all kind of do pretty similar stuff, but they all have their own little things. Right, there we go. We can maybe use Sol Wave again. Sol Wave's nice. Contrast. You could grab a transform here. Probably want a cubic. See, something like that looked really cool. I like that a lot. And of course, yeah, just something like that makes the image more interesting. I really like that. But of course, you can see here that if we were to duplicate this again like that, delete this off here, create tuna materials. Sorry if I'm going really fast. I'm just like not trying to drag this out. Drop this one on the opacity like that. Drop it on there. Got the purple showing. I can only just see it. And then of course wipe all of this out on this material till we just have the black. Put that one on here when it catches up to me, because I'm going way too quick for it. And then you can kind of see there, or is this the wrong way around? I don't know, but you can see that we're getting the purple showing and then the original black material. If that is the wrong way, we can invert that. And somehow it just gave us the original look again. But you see where I'm going with it. It looks nice. I like it. What if we just turn off that altogether? Yep, I like that. That's really clean. It's whatever floats your boat though, isn't it? This looks cool as well. Yeah, you could do some cool things. You could even set this to radial. Now that's going to clear your noise out. But it's not like it takes long to get it back. Noise. And you can see the way this actually is. I can see why this is acting up. We need the black on the main side. No, that's not really how I want it. I don't know. Maybe something like that. Get noise. Circular could look nice. Oh yeah. Where was that? That just straight up looked like symbiote. That was dope. I don't know, wherever you want to go with it. You know. That's really cool. And of course you can animate that as well. You see, just animate that little button there. Get some really cool results. I like that a lot. That was really cool. So yeah, play around with it, see what you can get. It's honestly, that's all it is, playing with these types of noises. And I noticed, like, when the noise renders you saw at the start, I started making them and I started posting them, and people were like, how did you do that? Did you do it like this? Did you do it like that? I was like, no, I just piled noises and noises and noises and noises on top of each other until it was just a really loud sound. And then you know, you get some pretty crazy results, and it's just about mixing and matching and seeing what you can do. And I kind of found a bit of a taste in doing it on planes, Displacements on circles are a little weird. Spheres, sorry, are a little weird unless you kind of change them to like icosahedrons, octahedrons, and stuff like that. And if I NB that, you'll see it changes the way the segments are, and that kind of helps the displacement quite a bit. But at the same time, if you go crazy with this displacement on spheres, I even tried getting a landscape and putting it in spherical, it wasn't having it. If same with cubes, everything, you go too high on them and it breaks them apart, and it's really weird. I don't know how to fix that. Surely someone out there will though. I know one fix: use the displacer, but then you have to use a stupid amount of sample segments, and that's not fun. But anyway, this tutorial has been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. It's just so satisfying to sit and stare at this thing. So, you know, just go crazy with it. Make some dope shit. And thanks for watching. Follow my Instagram, follow my Twitter. Do whatever the fuck you want. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.